Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever been judged by what you wore? Now, don't lie. You know what I mean. You walk into a room with a sharp suit, clean shoes, head held high, and suddenly the world pays attention. People shake your hand a little firmer. They listen a little closer. They treat you like you've already made it. But I want you to understand something deeper. This ain't about the fabric. It's about the mindset. Because if you wear nice clothes, but your spirit's ragged, your character's torn, if your integrity is stained, then you've just dressed up an empty shell. See, what you wear should be a reflection, not a disguise. People dress like success because they want to feel it. That's all right. Clothes can give you confidence. They can shift how the world sees you. But don't let the world's gaze make you forget your soul's truth. If you wear nice clothes, then walk like you earned them. Talk like you respect them. Work like they're stitched with sacrifice. Because behind every clean cuff, every polished shoe, every fine thread, there should be a story, a grind, a purpose. I've seen people spend their last dollar on looking rich instead of becoming rich in wisdom and values and discipline. But real success, that starts on the inside. It's not the designer label. It's the blood, sweat, and faith you wear underneath. Clothing reflects mindset, not worth. It's a truth that goes beyond fashion. It reaches into the heart of how we carry ourselves in the world. When people talk about dressing well, they often tie it to confidence or power. But there's a difference between dressing to impress and dressing with intention. You see, wearing nice clothes doesn't define your value. It reveals your state of mind. Let's break that down. You put on a sharp outfit, not because you're trying to fool anybody, but because on some level, you feel like you're stepping into something more. A version of yourself that walks taller, speaks clearer, moves with a purpose. That's mindset. That's psychology. Done. The clothes didn't change your value. They just activated a part of you that already existed. But here's the danger. When people confuse that outside layer for the entire substance, when the look becomes the mask, some folks think that if they just wear the right shoes, the right watch, the right jacket, they can walk into any room and be somebody. And maybe for a moment, they can. Maybe they'll get the handshake. Maybe they'll get the nod. But if there's nothing behind that look, if the mindset ain't right, if the character doesn't match the cut of the cloth, then it all unravels. That's where a lot of people go wrong. They buy the suit before they build the soul. They put money into the outfit before they invest in the discipline. You see, you can dress like a leader, but if your actions show otherwise, people will see through you. The look will only take you so far. Eventually, the mindset has to back it up. Think about the man or woman who walks into a room with no brand names, no expensive tags, but they carry themselves with dignity, self-respect, and clarity. That's mindset. Now dress that person in fine clothes, and it amplifies what was already there. The suit doesn't create the strength. It magnifies it. It supports it. But take someone who hasn't done the inner work, who's still lost, still trying to fill a hole inside themselves with fabrics and accessories. That's a person dressing for worth. And worth doesn't come from cloth. Worth comes from the quiet choices no one sees. The early mornings, the hard conversations, the sacrifices, the integrity. That's what builds real value. That's what turns a person into someone who can wear success, not just display it. There are folks who spend hours getting dressed, making sure every detail is right. But they won't spend 10 minutes examining their character, their choices, their habits. That's backwards. Because your clothes may open a door, but your mindset decides whether you stay in the room. Your style may get attention, but your substance earns respect. Now, this ain't a call to dress down or act like appearance doesn't matter. Presentation matters. It's real. But it should be aligned with who you are, not who you pretend to be. When you walk out the door, you should like the mission you're on. You should carry yourself like someone who's already done the inner work, and the outfit is just catching up. So when we say clothing reflects mindset, what we're saying is this: how you choose to present yourself says a lot about what you believe about yourself. Do you dress with care because you respect yourself and your goals? Or are you trying to cover up insecurity with style? Are you using fashion to elevate, or to escape? The mirror doesn't lie. You can polish the outside all you want, but the person wearing the clothes has to be ready to carry what those clothes represent. A tailored suit might look like power, but power isn't in the stitch. It's in the stillness, the discipline, the vision. A beautiful dress might look like confidence, but confidence isn't in the fabric. It's in the way you move when no one's watching. That's what mindset is. It's the engine under the hood. The clothes are just the paint job. True confidence comes from within. It's not stitched into a jacket or tucked into a pair of designer shoes. It's not something you can buy, rent, or borrow. It doesn't shine through your watch or your sunglasses. Real confidence is quiet. It's stable. It's earned. It comes from the work no one sees and the growth that happens when no one is clapping. Too many people think confidence is loud. They think it's a performance, a strut, a certain tone of voice. They believe that if they project enough bravado, if they laugh the loudest, stand the tallest, speak the most, they can convince everyone, including themselves, that they're in control. But real confidence isn't about control. It's about acceptance. It's about knowing who you are without needing validation every 5 minutes. Confidence comes from doing what you said you do. It's born in consistency. When you tell yourself you're going to wake up early and you do it. When you promise yourself you'll finish that project and you see it through. When you look fear in the face, take the step anyway, and discover you were stronger than you thought. That's where confidence grows. It's planted in action and watered by integrity. And when that confidence starts to take root, something changes. You stop needing to prove things to people. You stop chasing compliments to feel good. Done. You stop depending on the outside world to remind you of your value, because you've lived enough truth to know it already. You don't need the outfit to feel like a boss. You feel like one when you walk into the room because of who you've become, not what you're wearing. That kind of confidence is unshakable. Not because life gets easier, but because you've gotten stronger. When you've been through pain, disappointment, failure, and kept moving anyway, you develop a foundation that can't be rocked by opinions or surface-level judgments. Someone can overlook you, underestimate you, even disrespect you, and you won't crumble because your worth doesn't live in their approval. It lives in your history, in your scars, in the lessons you had to fight for. Now, that's not to say you don't feel fear. Confidence doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It means the doubt doesn't stop you. It means you've learned how to act even when your hands are shaking. It means you've developed a relationship with discomfort. You're not avoiding failure. You've learned how to bounce back from it. And the people who carry that kind of confidence, you can feel it. It's in their posture, but not their ego. It's in their words, but not in arrogance. It's in their presence. They don't take up space to be seen. They take up space because they belong. There's no desperation in it, no hunger for attention, Just a calm certainty that says, I know who I am. That's why confidence isn't something you put on. It's something you grow into. You have to earn it day by day, decision by decision. You build it through discipline, through silence, through failure, through correction, through doing what's right, especially when it's hard, especially when no one else is watching. Done. It doesn't matter how you look if you're afraid to be real. It doesn't matter how expensive your clothes are if you crumble every time someone criticizes you. It doesn't matter how many people praise you if you still doubt yourself in the mirror. Confidence isn't built on praise. It's built on proof. You want to feel confident. Go get to put in the work. Go face the storm. Confidence is what shows up after you've survived it. People try to shortcut it. They try to dress like they have it. Talk post like they have it. But the truth always catches up. Eventually the image wears thin and the real person steps forward. And when that happens, you want to be someone who has put in the internal work. Because if your confidence is real, it doesn't matter who's watching. It doesn't rise and fall with opinions. It doesn't change with the weather. That kind of confidence, the kind that lives in your bones, is built through experience, through learning how to carry yourself with respect, even when life doesn't hand it to you. It's the product of quiet moments, honest reflections, and hard decisions. It's not what you show. It's who you are when no one's looking. Don't disguise emptiness with appearance. Done. There's a difference between looking complete and actually being whole. Done. So many people spend their energy trying to look like they've figured it all out, putting on an image that hides the cracks underneath. They dress sharp, speak smooth, smile on cue, and move like they're in control. But inside something is missing, and deep down, they know it. That emptiness doesn't go away just because you hide it well. We live in a world that rewards the surface. Likes, followers, done. Applause. It all feeds the outer shell. It teaches people to decorate the outside before they develop the inside. So what do? They chase the look. Done. They chase the perception. They buy the car before they build the character. They post the image before they build the discipline. They put on the performance, hoping no one looks too close, hoping no one asks the real questions. But emptiness always finds a way to speak. You can feel it in a person's silence. You can see it in their eyes when the lights go down and the crowd is gone. When someone's chasing appearance without substance, they're running from something. Maybe it's insecurity. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's pain they've never dealt with. So they use appearance like armor. They layer it on with precision. The perfect haircut, the right shoes, the curated words. But armor doesn't heal wounds, it just hides them. And after a while, that armor gets heavy. You start living for the show, not for the truth. You start depending on how others see you instead of how you see yourself. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look good, to be presentable, to have style. But when appearance becomes a replacement for real identity, you lose yourself. You begin to trade self-worth for validation. And the problem with validation is that it's never enough. You get one compliment and you need another. You get attention and you fear losing it. You build a life on shallow ground and you have to keep it standing with constant performance. That's not living. That's surviving. People disguise emptiness because facing it is hard. It means sitting still long enough to hear your own thoughts. It means admitting there are places in you that need work, need healing, need rebuilding. But if you never face those places, if you never do the inner work, then the appearance becomes a trap. A beautiful prison. You look good, but you feel hollow. You smile wide, but your soul's aching. And eventually, that's split between who you are and who you pretend to be becomes too wide to carry. Some of the most broken people wear the nicest clothes, not because they love fashion, but because it's the only thing they can control. When life feels chaotic on the inside, people climb to the outside. They straighten the tie, polish the shoes, fix the collar, because it's easier than fixing what's broken in their spirit. But healing doesn't come from the mirror. It comes from the heart. It comes from doing the uncomfortable work of unpacking your pain, confronting your truth, owning your flaws, and choosing to grow. You don't need to disguise your emptiness. You need to understand it. Ask where it came from. Ask what it's trying to tell you. Emptiness isn't weakness. It's a signal. It's telling you something's missing. Not on the outside, but inside. And the answer isn't always to buy more, to flex harder, to show off. Sometimes the answer is to slow down, to strip away the layers, to stop performing and start reflecting, because real strength starts where the mask comes off. When you meet someone who's done the work, who's faced their own emptiness and found peace in the process, you can feel it. There's a groundedness in them. They don't need to prove anything. They don't rely on image because their identity is rooted in more than appearance. They wear clothes. They aren't worn by them. They know who they are with they are or without the outfit. And when you know are without the decoration, that's when appearance becomes expression, not a disguise. The truth is everyone feels empty at some point. That's part of being human. But not everyone tries to hide it behind appearance. Some choose to face it. And those who do, those who dig deep and work on the inside, they're the ones who build a life that doesn't collapse when the applause stops or when the mirror fogs up. They build from within, not from outside in. Because they've learned that real fulfillment never comes from how you're seen. It comes from who you are when no one's watching. Let your clothes match your character. What you wear should not just be a display of taste. It should be a reflection of your truth. Too many people use style as a cover, as a performance. They dress like leaders but think like followers. Done. They dress like royalty but act with no integrity. When your clothes say one thing but your actions say another, there's a disconnect. And people can feel that. They may not always be able to name it, but they sense it. Real alignment happens when your appearance and your character speak the same language. Think about the message your clothes send. They speak before you do. They walk into the room a second before you arrive. And that's not about labels or how much you paid for them. It's about how you carry them, why you chose them, what they represent. If you're putting on confidence, let it be backed by preparation. If you're dressing for excellence, make sure you're living with discipline. There should be no costume. There should be consistency. People notice more than you think. They watch how you move, how you speak, how you treat others. You can wear the cleanest suit in the building, but if your words are reckless, if your energy is selfish, if your posture is arrogant, and then your outfit becomes a contradiction, it's not about dressing down. It's about leveling up your behavior to match the image you're putting out. Your clothes should enhance who you are, not hide who you're not. When a person's character matches their appearance, there's power in that. It creates trust. It creates clarity. It tells people that what they see is what they get. There's no guessing, no confusion, no mixed signals. You walk in dressed with intention, and your presence confirms it. That's the kind of consistency that opens doors, earns respect, and sustains relationships. But matching your clothes to your character doesn't mean looking perfect all the time. It means being intentional. It means dressing like you respect yourself. Dressing like you take your time seriously. dressing like your mission matters. It means you're not just trying to be seen, you're trying to be understood. And for that to happen, your visual presentation and your moral compass need to be moving in the same direction. There are people who dress sharp and treat others like they're beneath them. That's not power. That's insecurity in disguise. There are people who wear luxury and leave chaos everywhere they go. That's not success. That's a hollow image held together by threads. On the flip side, you meet someone whose outfit is crisp, but their handshake is firm, their eye contact is steady, their words are clear, and their presence is calm. That's alignment. That's when the outside matches the inside. You should never have to overcompensate with your outfit. You should never have to dress louder than your voice or more confidently than you feel. Build the character first. Then let your clothing reflect that strength. Use it as an extension of your discipline, your focus, your clarity. Let it serve the mission, not replace the mission, because the world doesn't need another person pretending. It needs more people showing up whole, showing up true, showing up ready. There's a different kind of power in someone who doesn't just look the part, but lives the part. It's in the way they sit, done, the way they listen, the way they lead. They don't just wear excellence. They speak it, they move it, they prove it. That's the difference. When your clothes match your character, you're not performing. You're presenting. You're not trying to convince anyone. You're confirming what you've already built. Character is the foundation. Without it, the best outfit in the world is just decoration. It might fool a few people for a little while, but time has a way of revealing the truth. And when that time comes, you want your character to stand as tall as your appearance. You want the way you treat people to echo louder than the way you dress. Because real power isn't in being noticed. It's in being remembered for the right reasons. So when you step into your clothes, ask yourself if they're telling the truth about you. Are they an honest extension of who you are? Are they a mirror of your mindset, your values, your purpose? If not, then maybe it's not the clothes that need changing. Maybe it's something deeper. Because when your character leads, your style follows. And that's when people stop just seeing you and start believing in you. Success is built, not worn. It doesn't come from fabric, from logos, from shiny accessories or polished shoes. It comes from decisions. It comes from the nights when everyone else is sleeping and you're still working. It comes from the mornings when you get up tired, unsure, but you get up anyway. It comes from the times you fail and you keep going. The grind, the sweat, the repetition. That's where success is formed. Done. Not on the runway, in the mirror, not in the outfit. Wearing nice clothes might make you feel sharp, feel ready, feel seen. But if you haven't done the work, if you haven't put in the time, the suit won't carry you through. The work does. Done. Success isn't something you can dress into existence. You don't slip into it like a jacket. You carve it out brick by brick, habit by habit. You build it through focus, through discipline, through sacrifice. It's not about what you wear. It's about what you're willing to go through to become the person who deserves to wear it. There are people who put more effort into their appearance than they do into their purpose. Done. They'll stand in front of the mirror for an hour making sure every crease is right, every fold is perfect, but they haven't looked at their goals in weeks. They haven't revisited their vision. They haven't checked in on their growth. Done. They're hoping that looking successful will somehow attract the results of success. But success doesn't respond to appearance. It responds to work ethic, to consistency, to patience, to resilience. Done. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by looking the part. They got there by becoming the part. They took the stairs while others were looking for elevators. They stayed quiet while others were showing off. They didn't need to wear wealth to build wealth. They didn't need to fake confidence to earn it. They did the work. And once they built the foundation, once became the person worthy of carrying that success, then maybe they dressed the part. But they didn't start with the look. They started with the substance. There's something empty about success that's only skin deep. You can always tell when someone's trying to wear success instead of living it. They overcompensate. They need the flash. They need to be seen. But someone who's built success knows that it doesn't have to shout. Real success is quiet. It's calm. It walks into a room and doesn't need to prove anything because the work already proved it. The late nights already proved it. The obstacles already proved it. There's no need for extra decoration when you've got that kind of truth in your story. And when you've built something for real. When you've paid the price in time, in sweat, in failure. Then it doesn't matter what you wear. Done. You can walk into the room in jeans and still command respect because people feel what's real. Done. They respond to the energy of someone who's done the work. That presence can't be bought. It can't be tailored. It comes from the journey, from the lessons, from the mistakes that turned into wisdom. Success doesn't come wrapped in a brand name. It doesn't arrive because you looked the part. It shows up because you were willing to keep going when it got hard, because you built discipline when no one was watching, because you didn't wait to be noticed. You made yourself undeniable. And whether you're dressed in a $5 shirt or a $500 suit, that success shows up in how you carry yourself, in how you speak, in how you move through the world. Wearing nice clothes can complement your journey. It can represent pride, professionalism, attention to detail. But it should never be mistaken for the journey itself. You don't become more capable because you changed your wardrobe. You become more capable because you changed your habits, because you took accountability, because you stopped making excuses. That's where it starts. Not with the clothes, but with the commitment. Every great thing that lasts was built. Slowly, deliberately flaunted, not faked. And when you finally reach the place you've been grinding toward, done. The clothes won't make you feel successful. The journey will. The reflection in the mirror won't be about the outfit. It'll be about what it took to get there. What you had to overcome. What you had to sacrifice. That's success. It's not worn. It's earned. Respect is not earned by fabric. It's earned by presence, by the way you treat people, by how you carry yourself when there's nothing to gain and no one to impress. You can walk into a room in the finest outfit, tailored to perfection. But if your spirit is arrogant, if your energy is dismissive, if your words are careless, no one is going to remember the cut of your suit. They'll remember how you made them feel. They'll remember whether you listened, whether you saw them, whether you made space for them to matter. People get confused. They think status and respect are the same thing. They think if they wear the right thing, drive the right car, sit in the right seat, the world will hand them respect. But status can be bought, respect can't. Status can be faked. Respect is felt. And the truth is, the ones who demand respect through appearance are often the ones who haven't done the work to earn it through substance. They lean on image because their presence alone doesn't carry the weight. If you walk into a room and need to announce who you are, you've done. You're not respected. You're performing. Because the people who are truly respected don't have to say much. I've done. They don't have to point to their clothes or their resume. They don't have to be the loudest. Their presence speaks. There's a quiet confidence, a stillness that says, I know who I am, and I don't need your permission to be it. That's real respect. It comes from character, not culture. Done. You want people to respect you. Show up with integrity. Do what you say you're going to do. Be consistent. Be dependable. Done. Handle pressure without folding. Treat people well, not because they can do something for you, but because it's who you are. Don't cut corners. Don't talk down. Don't use your appearance as a shield to hide behind. Let your actions speak louder than your appearance. That's the language respect understands. And it's not just about how you treat others. It's also about how you carry yourself. If you walk with purpose, if you speak with clarity, if you move with respect for your own time, your own values, your own energy, people feel that. You teach people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. If you take yourself seriously, not in a prideful way, but in a purposeful way, then others will follow suit. Respect starts with you, not your wardrobe, not your paycheck. You. Think about the people you admire most. It's not just what they wear. It's what they represent. It's the lessons they've lived, the battles they've faced, the stories behind their eyes. That's what earns respect. When someone survives something, when they've overcome, when they've grown, done, they don't have to flash it. They embody it. And no outfit can compete with that kind of energy. You can't fake that. You can't dress it up. It's either in you or it's not. There's a difference between being impressive and being impactful. Clothes can impress, but impact, that's built. Done. That's what happens when your life matches your words, when your choices line up with your principles, when your past doesn't define you, done, but it refines you. When you walk into a room and people feel like they can trust you, not just because of what you're wearing, done, but because of what you've shown up as consistently over time through struggle, through setbacks, through the grind. Respect comes when people know they can count on you, when your presence makes things better, when you bring clarity instead of confusion, peace instead of pressure, truth instead of performance. And none of that is hanging in your closet. It's built in your decisions, your habits, your standards. You want to be respected. Get your spirit right, your priorities right, get your relationships right. Let your life be the proof. There's a time and place to dress well, to present yourself with intention. That's part of discipline. That's part of excellence. But never mistake presentation for character. Never lean so hard on appearance that you forget who you are underneath it. Because when the lights go down, done. When the title is gone, when no one's watching, respect is what's left. And if it's not rooted in something real, then it doesn't matter what you were while you were chasing it. So if you put on nice clothes, tomorrow let them remind you of who you're becoming. Let them sharpen your focus. Let them elevate not just your appearance, but your actions. Because at the end of the day, when the lights go out and the jacket's off, what matters isn't the suit. It's the man or woman wearing it. Thank you.